Welcome to the Moses Brown Student Podcast, brought to you by Esra,
Alan, Hirsch,
and Jason.
You're tuning in to our very first, completely free, highly entertaining episode. You're welcome. P.S. Yes, MB Podcast is about as exciting as unseasoned oatmeal. We know. Keep an eye on your inbox. We're going to be calling on the upper school community for name suggestions.
First up, mark your calendars. The upper school fall play, Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, takes the stage on November 13th to 15th in the Woodman Performing Arts Center. We spoke to several members of the cast and crew about the show, so stick around to hear what they had to say. And here is Liam, the student director of Much Ado About Nothing. So, how do you feel about being a student director on, the same age level as some of your peers in the cast?
It's been a lot of fun. It's my first time directing. I'd always acted before, and directing has given me a different perspective on theater, and I think that working with my peers has been an absolute pleasure. I've known many of them for a very long time and been able to work on lots and lots of shows with them, so I think having my close relationships with them, being good friends with them, and really having a very collaborative experience and process for this show has been a lot of fun.
Are there any difficulties with managing two casts at once?
Yeah, there's logistical challenges of how we plan rehearsals and who we need and when. And I think that with all the challenges that it's also created a lot of interesting dynamics and lots of interesting things that we can use that can be really, really fun. And kind of seeing the actors that have been cast in the same role, seeing them work together on their lines, on their scenes, and coming to a better understanding of their role has been a pleasure to watch.
And next we have Nix and Piper from the Much Ado About Nothing costuming crew.
Hi, I'm Nix. Hi, I'm Piper.
How is integrating Shakespearean clothing into a modern day show? What challenges were there?
None. This is just period costuming.
It's just Shakespearean costuming. It's kind of like it was pretty easy because it's kind of an already established concept that we're building upon, but
and it's like a style that we already know and have done shows in. And honestly, actually, I haven't done that many shows in a very traditional Shakespeare, so I was very excited when they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're keeping period for the costumes."
Were there any other major challenges that you guys faced during development of the costumes?
We changed up how we do costumes, so that was a bit to figure out. But it kind of ended up just being how it normally is with a little more direction from Piper. So,
yeah, I mean, there's been a lot more making in this show than we usually do. Just so much more making, because usually we just kind of have a Pinterest board and then we pull things out of the basement based on that board. But this time it's been a lot more conceptualizing and designing and actually making, which, I don't know if people love that, but I've had a lot of fun doing it.
And part of it is it's actually not as common as you think to do a show in the classic Shakespearean costuming, and so normally when we do a show in whatever period, we actually have so much stuff that we can just go down and pick out whatever we need for that period. Yeah. And for this one, we actually didn't have a ton from this period, which was definitely a barrier.
That was tough because there's a lot of what we have is Victorian style.
Yes.
And we don't have that much Renaissance stuff.
It's actually it's very distinct in little ways, and I love the period and I wanted to be very faithful to this one, and I think we all kind of did, and so we didn't want to just pass off Victorian or what was it, Regency era stuff as Shakespearean, and we really wanted to go
at least stay within the 15th, 16th centuries,
It's amazing. I look forward to seeing them on stage. And here we have Spencer and Ishan both playing the role of Benedict.
Hi. Hi.
So how has it been playing both of you playing the same character?
Pretty good. We've kind of talked a tiny bit, but we don't overlap too much. We both kind of figure out, I think, kind of separate things, interpretations.
Yeah, I think it's been a new experience for both of us. Just both playing the same character, yet it's not quite the same character. It's actually a very different person. It's interesting to compare and contrast the two.
That's awesome. And are there any other challenges with playing two characters in the same show?
I think it's a tiny bit of extra work. But I think there's not a ton of challenges for me personally. I know that there are challenges just having two things, going back and forth, like splitting up the time.
I mean, I would agree mostly. I feel like for us, it's not too bad because we have our own individual shows to focus on, but all the people that bridge between both shows, including some actors and also all the technical crew, having to manage both of the two very different shows is a challenge, I think, generally.
All right, that's awesome. I look forward to seeing it. And next up, we have Will, the stage manager of Much Ado About Nothing.
Hello.
So, were there any major roadblocks during the rehearsals?
No, during the rehearsals, we didn't really have many roadblocks. I think we've been grappling with the challenge of two casts mainly, but I think we've dealt with that quite well, and we've managed it in a nice way.
Yeah, I've heard that was a decent challenge. Do you know why you guys made the decision to have two casts?
We wanted to incorporate as many people in as many different roles as possible, and we mainly just wanted to see what the challenge of it could look like and be able to do that and have people have a lot more opportunities than they would have normally.
It's Esther again. If you had to pick one word to sum up your experience in Much Ado, what would that word be?
Uplifting. Education.
Educational.
Educational.
Unfamiliar.
Tedious.
Thrilling.
Proud.
Hilarious.
Community.
Shakespeare!
Please keep in mind that our podcast sports commentary captures just a moment in time. For the most up-to-date competition information, check the RIIL website or follow Moses Brown Athletics on Instagram.
This is Alan.
This is Pierce.
And we'll be updating you about everything MB sports on this podcast. It's November, so that means playoffs are upon us.
We talked with Leslie and McShane about how competition has been going for our Quaker teams.
So, Leslie, I know there was a very big field hockey game last weekend. Can you expand about that?
So, the field hockey team advanced to the state championship, and we played LaSalle, and we beat them 6-0, which capped off our undefeated season. It was a great game. The kids played great. Just exciting, great crowd.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It's been a great year.
Wasn't there some record of like margin of victory or something?
Yeah.
So I heard something about that.
So it was the first time any field hockey team has ever beaten a team. I guess it was 6-0. So I guess that was the record that was broken.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is what I was told on the field. So So that was exciting.
Yeah.
Kind of
that's
get into
awesome.
the record books for that.
Yeah, field hockey had an amazing year, so proud of them. So there was a big cross-country meet past weekend. Can you walk me through that a bit?
Yeah, so both of our cross-country teams competed in the state championship at Pontiac High School this weekend. If anyone's ever been to a cross-country meet, it's actually really exciting. People, all the spectators literally run in 10 directions trying to see a player, a runner coming through on one end. It's there's a lot of energy, and you never think about it going to a cross-country meet, but I actually love it. Sarah loves it. I love the whole energy to it. But our girls team finished 7th out of 18 teams. They did really well. They had 37 seconds separating our first place runner to the 5th place runner. So that actually was great for us. And then our boys team finished 13th out of 19 teams, and it's our best finish since our 2022 team. So both teams really went in, competed hard, and they were the top two teams out of the Class C teams that finished the highest. So yeah, it was a great weekend. I really enjoyed it. Maddie Bennett, our coach, does such a great job with the kids.
Yeah, for sure. I know they were working really hard because I know a bunch of my classmates are on the cross country teams, and they're working hard. So I should check out cross country meets. They seem exciting.
You really
I
should.
wouldn't
I'm telling you.
have thought about that.
I don't think any of our kids like really understand just like the excitement of it. And for people to know, it's a very quick meet to go to because it's only 3.2 miles.
Yeah.
So it's
usually
literally like 20 minutes
per race.
So you see them go out and it's everyone's cheering. You go and find a spot to see the runners come in for the finish. So it's very quick, but it's like I said, it's so exciting.
Yeah, and there are hundreds of people there because you know you've got multiple teams and lots of kids on the team and family and friends and classmates coming out, and all of that whole area of Pontiac and their high school is just like filled with people. It's really fun.
Yeah, I should definitely check them out.
You should.
Talk to some of my classmates, get some more people at the.
I love that. I think that would be awesome. They would really love that.
So there's a lot of girls tennis last week, right? So can you explain to me how they did in playoffs?
Yeah, the girls tennis team I think surprised everybody. They had beaten Smithfield in the preliminary round of the tournament, and then advanced to the quarterfinals where they were playing NK. And I think that was a match that, you know, they weren't anticipating advancing. And they had an amazing match and advanced to the semifinals of the state championship and lost to Barrington 4-1. But I don't think that score is even indicative of kind of like even the match against Barrington, because in tennis, once they get to a certain score, that 4 threshold, the match is over, even if some kids are still in the middle of their matches. And there were kids who were still playing that were actually ahead in their matches. But anyway, it was like an amazing season. And we have a new coach this year, too, that's been doing such a great job, Stuart Titus. And it's been really fun to watch them. They've been a really cohesive team, and they've been working really hard. And it was a great season for them.
Yeah, definitely. Never count out MB, I'd say.
Love that.
Yeah,
Love that. That's good.
That's what we can
motto.
take away.
Yeah. So I would like to say, how are you getting ready for your hockey season?
Oh, so hockey team we're always together. Like at the lunch table, we're always talking about our favorite memories from last year, and we just have our captain's practice coming up next week, and everyone's so excited for this year.
Yeah, well, I asked because hockey, you have your fall teams that you play on, and does MB gets together and plays?
Yes. So a bunch of kids are on like the same club teams. Like I know a bunch of the freshmen are on the same team.
Nice.
Good amount of like juniors and seniors are on the same team. So everyone's playing, and everyone's really excited. So we should have a good year.
So we're finishing the fall and we're ready to go for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Definitely.
Looking forward to seeing you all play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
I think one of my favorite moments of the winter last year was
The
that
semifinal game. That was amazing.
That was a fun game.
It
That was so much fun.
So fun. Great crowd, great energy, great vibe. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for your time.
Right. Thanks for coming over
to
the press box.
Yeah.
Until next time, go Quakers.
November is a very busy month for sports playoffs as well as clubs and co-curriculars. So I'm here with an update from Model UN and Robotics. I'm here with 2 of this year's leaders of Model UN, Constance and Jocelyn. So our first question is, what is Model UN and how does it work?
So Model United Nations is a simulation of what actually happens during UN General Assembly sessions. So how it works is you are usually a person, a historical, who are still alive, or someone or a country in the United Nations, sometimes even a person in business, but for the Model UN purposes, it's usually a country. And you're representing the policies, actions, past actions, and then hypothetical future actions of that country based on a topic that is given to you by the university that the Model UN is hosted by. Often you participate in discussions of opening statements, basically saying your stance on that topic, policy, or hypothetical situation, and then from there you basically go into discussion, and the end goal is to have a resolution and partner with other countries, people, or board of directors often to create a solution for the said problem.
Yeah, and with Model UN being a simulation, I'd also say that it really equips you with the skills to make real change, and you draft resolutions, you work for solutions in crisis situations, and you try to influence central issues in our world like gender inequality, climate injustice, poverty, world hunger, trying to come up with peace solutions. And so by creating those resolutions, you are drafting the framework of how you would address global issues.
What drove you to join Model UN, and what's your favorite part about it?
I actually wasn't planning on doing Model UN coming into Mrs. Brown, but my peer leader, my freshman year, Abby Lee, was the president of the club at the time, and noticed how I loved to participate in class discussions and said that I would be a good candidate for Model United Nations. Funnily enough, I hated public speaking, which now I love, but I think just the first meeting, there was so much collaboration and energy and effort into the research, into the discussions, and excitement around the conference, because there really is no way to train for it. You really have to just kind of jump in and wholeheartedly experience and the dynamics and the nuances that come and challenges and things that are exciting about the conferences. My favorite part about it, I would say, are definitely the conferences, but also just seeing the next generation of Model UNers to prepping for it and how excited they get for their position papers, for the conference themselves, getting all dressed up, and really just kind of imparting things that I've learned on that I knew 9th graders, 10th graders, and 11th graders, and seeing how things that I've found have worked for me, worked for them, and seeing their successes as a leader has been really great.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't heard of Model UN before my freshman year of high school, but when it was introduced, I just thought, oh, that sounds really cool to be, collaborating to try to solve these issues that I was thinking about a lot. And I'm so glad I joined. And then, yeah, what really hooked me was going to Bosman, which is at Boston University, and just being in an immersive environment where you're staying in this little Model UN bubble for a couple days and just really diving into the collaboration and the community of trying to create resolutions in your committees, and then also with the delegation. And it's grown into much more than I could have imagined when I first heard it described.
How do Model UN conferences work?
Yeah, so conferences work is your teacher that is running the club usually submits a certain number of people they want spots for, and then Mrs. Brown is an application process for people who are new to Model UN, and you get assigned a committee. So the committees are General Assembly, Specialized, EcoSoc, and Crisis, and then Ad Hoc. They all mean a little bit different things, but the way the conference is run is you do the research, assign the person, you submit your position paper, which is just kind of a one-page paper about your person, countries, etc., policy on or opinion on that topic, and then you go into the conference and it's a lot of discussion. There's moderated discussion, which is more formal, so think speeches, silence, passing notes. It's very much speech and debate, kind of that style. And then there's unmoderated caucus, which is when the chair or the DS person running the committee is not involved, and you can have free discussion with different countries, different people, and that's when the collaboration really happens. That's when you're really creating solutions, solving problems, approaching challenges, and then from there you continue to writing, and that's how. And then you kind of have a mix of unmod, moderated caucus, unmod, moderated caucus, back and forth until you finally have a resolution written, and then you present that. And people vote on whether to vote it in or not. So it's a lot of collaboration, a lot of convincing, sometimes a lot of conflict. There are what we call power delegates, people who are really, gunning for that best delegate position. But I think Mrs. Brown, we really focus on collaboration and the experiences you have at Model UN, and really kind of creating a solution that's both best for your country and also able to stretch your thinking to help people who may not be represented in someone else's solution.
And then the other thing at conferences that's just really exciting is you meet people from around the world who are equally passionate about creating change, and everyone comes with a slightly different perspective. Some people are really interested in the economics. Some people are really interested in the health sector. And so you're representing countries, but then you're also forming relationships with people and personally, I've stayed in touch with some people I've met at conferences, and we've worked on outside projects. And so I think it's also the people behind who they are representing that can be really valuable to meet and form important relationships in the future.
What's your biggest takeaway from your experience in Model UN over the years, and what's the best thing you've learned?
I think that going into my first Model UN, I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I think that I thought everybody else had this kind of elaborate plan and that they had all this research and access to information that I didn't have, or these skill sets that I didn't really, wasn't able to develop yet. But I think that what Model UN has really taught me, or what I've learned from it, is that it's not really like what you know going into it. It's what you do and what you say and how you interact with people. Because I think that I have gone to conferences where I have been extremely unprepared due to like an influx of work that week, or I just didn't have enough time to completely research everything I wanted to research to what I think is the quote-unquote preparation that I should have. And it's the confidence that you exude and kind of like the ability to want the kind of like, if you're going in the conference with the mindset of I want to learn, I want to collaborate, I want to experience other people's opinions instead of saying, oh, I want to prove my own, I think that's something I've learned that really kind of works in a lot of places in life. And I think that Model UN kind of gives you the skills to collaborate and also solve problems that you may not have foreseen. There's so many things that come up that you just like wouldn't even think, because people have crazy ideas, and it gets wild at Model UN conferences, believe it or not. But I think that is like one of the main things that I've taken away, is just really how like thinking on your feet and being open to learning and kind of being open to what you yourself can learn is kind of really been amazing for me.
I think that's beautiful, and yeah, I think fundamentally what Model UN has reinforced for me is that leadership is listening, and a lot of people go into conferences of I'm going to prove my power, I'm going to prove my point, and I'm going to single-handedly try to steer the conversation somewhere, and that just never works. You have to go in with a collaborative attitude, and you have to listen, and you have to hear other countries and other people's perspectives. And so I think experiencing that in real time has just really affirmed to me that leadership is not in the strength and kind of the unilateral force with which you approach a discussion, but it's rather what you're willing to absorb and how you're able to create resolutions and solutions from what you hear.
I'm here with Emily, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experience in Model UN, why she decided to join, and what her favorite part about Model UN is.
I joined Model UN because I did it as like a summer camp in like 7th and 8th grade. I really did not want to do it. I was really mad at my sister for making me sign up for it. But then I got there and I met like a lot of good friends, and it was really fun. And now that I do it here at Moses Brown, it just got even better, I feel like. Because now I'm with all my like school friends, and we can just hang out and have like a break from school. And I got to practice like all my public speaking skills and even choose like topics that I'm interested in, like want to do in the future too.
So I'm here with Lena, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how upper school robotics works.
Okay, so for upper school robotics, we meet every Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday from 3 to 5, and you don't need any experience to join, and we mainly build robots and program them to compete at competitions.
So can you tell me a little bit about how competitions work?
So for competitions, we compete in Connecticut. So we get on campus early, and then we play 2 robots on a team against another team with 2 robots, and we score points, and whoever has the most points by the end of the 2-minute match wins. And then based on how many matches you've won, you move up in the rank. And if you're in the top 16, you make it to the elimination rounds automatically. And then these elimination rounds, there's 32 teams, and then eventually a team of 2 will win the tournament, the full tournament. And there's also like awards that you can win as well at these competitions for certain categories, like judging, like if you have a really good judges interview, or like the design award if your robot design is really cool and your notebook is very well structured. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm here with Finn, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how their competition went last week.
We got 12th out of 60 with our first design bot. We thought our design was pretty good, and it ended up performing pretty good, but we learned a lot from the competition, decided that we didn't really want to continue with that design. So the kind of general of the game is you have to score balls into these vertical or horizontal goals that are lifted above the ground. So before our design was a C shape, so balls would come in through the front of our robot and exit in the same spot vertically in the top of our robot, so we could score on the high goals. But we decided that we wanted to switch our C-shaped design to an S, so the balls came in through the front and left through the rear end of the robot. Now we completely disassembled our first bot that we spent a month creating and are building an entirely new bot.
So I'm here with Michael, and we're just asking him what are some cool things they do in robotics.
So there's tons of cool things. Just being in the Y Lab, it's very cool. I've been working with Brendan and Dave, and they've been showing me a lot of new tools and stuff. Like just today, I used a heat gun to melt a piece of plastic into the shape that I wanted to. And yeah, it's just a really cool learning experience. And you get to, build robots and play with super fun tools and create something truly amazing.
So now I'm going to go around and ask everyone on the team what their favorite thing about robotics is.
Coding.
Building.
Waking up at 4 a.m. and then driving 2 hours to the competition and then almost falling asleep and not being able to.
On Wednesdays at Antonia's Pizza on Thayer, they do a slice for $3, and usually on Wednesdays we go as a team after practice.
Same as driving.
When we build a new mechanism for our robot and test it, and then it actually works the way we want it to.
I think it's coding for programs.
Winning the Fall Classic.
Going to regionals.
Mock Trial has also been competing this month. Stay tuned for an update on that in the next episode. November is the month of giving, or Thanksgiving at least. The 3rd grade annual Thanksgiving food drive runs from now through November 20th. It's for Camp Street Ministries, and they're asking for various non-perishable goods, but that varies based on your lower school grade. Parents, make sure to check your emails for that. Cash donations will also be accepted on Thankful Thursdays, on the Thursdays of November 6th, 13th, and 20th, where you will see 3rd graders in turkey costumes, so make sure to look around for the turkeys. There will be various collection boxes around the lower school for the non-perishable goods. And here's one 3rd grader sharing more details about their collection effort.
Hi, I'm in 3rd grade. My name is Umu. 3rd grade is doing their yearly food drive. Nursery, primary, and kindergarten are fundraising brownie mix. 4th grade and 3rd grade are fundraising stuffing. 1st and 2nd grade are fundraising candy yams. We are helping a lot of families in Providence. For 3 Thursdays in November, we are also raising money to help people have a better Thanksgiving. Find us at drop off and pick up, so please donate some money and food. Thank you, MB.
Now we're moving on to our question of the week. We wrapped up our recent Spirit Week by asking one vital question to the community. What does MB Spirit mean to you? Our sports contributors, Alan and Pierce, hit the MB sidewalks to find out. Let's listen to what the community has to say.
MB School Spirit means a lot to me. It brings together the community, different sports games, different events, theater events, sports games, all the above.
It means I'm part of a larger community where we're all united.
MB Spirit to me is when the whole community is celebrating each other and enjoying their time with each other. So I think of Harvest Dinner as being the perfect example of looking around and seeing our youngest students, our oldest students, our alumni, our faculty, everyone just being together and just enjoying and celebrating the evening.
To me, school spirit means coming together as a community and showing up for each other.
Spirit is a community coming together and really uniting the whole school as one.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 1. Please subscribe to the Moses Brown YouTube channel where these completely free and amazing podcasts will be posted regularly, potentially one day with a snappier name.